One of the more gleefully absurd films that will be coming out this year is Soichi Umezawa's Vampire Clay, which follows a small class of teenagers who are studying art, specifically sculpting, when a mysterious batch of clay begins attacking them in increasingly gruesome and outrageous ways. Yes, this movie is about killer clay, and it doesn't shy away from its outlandish premise, instead opting to embrace it fully and with charming glee. We were very excited to get the opportunity to chat with Umezawa about the film, his love of practical effects, of which the film uses in spades, and what he's got coming up next. Absurdity and gore ensue as a possessed pile of clay begins terrorizing students at an art school. After its April 20th release, the film will screen at the 2018 Philadelphia Film Festival on Saturday, April 21st. Dread Central, how did your work on ABCs of Death 2 prepare you for directing Vampire Clay? Soichi Umezawa, I did not had a chance to work as a director in a commercial base, therefore, it was an honor to be in ABCs of Death 2. It was a new gateway for me, and even though it was a short film, i.e. one of the segment in the film, for me, it was a very big film as I was able to get a credit with ABCs of Death. However, I've done all the special effects, practical effects and story-wise in that I wanted to do in my youth segment, so I wondered what shall I do with my feature-length movie. I specialize in special makeup effects and I like metamorphose and molding, so I decided to use the clay. And I could only think of the film that clay attacking people was Golem, so I started to think that it would be fun to approach from different prospect. DC horror fans are very passionate about practical effects over CGI. How do you feel practical effects changes the dynamic of a film? So, I grew up watching practical effects, so I am very happy to hear that there are still many horror fans who likes practical effects. I also think that practical effects will never end. The most attractive point of practical effects is very simple, that itself is literally there. And horror fans are hungry for handmade, real love. At least, that's what I think. Even the practical effects molding are not so well made. The person who is moving those practical effects is habit, the handmade craft-making feeling of the person who is trying hard to move the puppet, the haunted house feeling of the person who is pumping the blood from the backside, those kind of live, playful feeling, especially those playful things that adults might get mad, I feel bonded to those. DC Vampire Clay is full of surreal imagery. Which FX gag was your favorite? Sue, I like all of them, but especially I really liked the scene where Reiko was attacked, as I was able to think very freely. Also, the last scene of Kakame, where Kakame becomes an earthworm, was very challenging and fun as I was able to create the miniature set that I don't normally create. Although, to be honest, it would look much better if I was able to make it more high quality. DC, where did you even get the idea of killer clay? Sue, I've been thinking of the idea of killer clay over 20 years now. And when I was writing the script of the film, I gave shape to the idea that how the clay possesses a human and turns into different forms. But I've been doing claymation from about 12 years old, using 8mm film, so for me, the idea of clay moving was not so special at all. DC, what else are you working on these days? Any more movies in the pipeline? Sue, we are working on a new film right now. Actually, we are working on the sequel to Vampire Clay, which will be in production around early summer. Also, for the special makeup side, I am also working on several new films, a TV drama, and a commercial. We recently had the chance to grab a few minutes with Kellen Lutz, star of the recently released action film 7 Guardians of the Tomb, and he was kind enough to give us a look inside the film as well as let us know what he's got cooking up next. Read on and enjoy. DC, can you tell us about the film's premise as well as a brief description of your character, Jack? KL, it's a mission movie about these two team members that get lost in this underground tomb system. They're archaeologists that get lost trying to find this serum that gives everlasting life, and the main heroine loses her brother, so she forms a new team to help find him. I play Jack Ripley, and I rescue people for a living, so that's my new mission, to help her find her brother, and there's a bit of family drama. Emotion clouds judgment, that's one of my lines in the movie, so I'm in to help find these members of the team, and there's a point where we all get stuck in the tomb and have to find our way out to continue on. DC, you've been in some heavy roles as far as action is concerned, and you're certainly no stranger to getting dirty. As your career rolls on, when you step on a set, do you intend to take on the bulk of the stunts, or are you more inclined now to let the stunt guys take the beatings? KL, oh hell no, that's why I do this, and I feel like I'll be like Tom Cruise until my dying day where I'm still jumping from building to building. I've never broken a bone, and I know he does some extreme stuff. I just love doing the stunts and all these action movies. As long as I can keep doing them, I'm happy. I've had more stunt doubles get mad at me, not really mad, but they say, "Come on dude, this is how we get paid." Laughs. DC, back in 2013, you were the executive producer on a film called Syrup that you also acted in. Now that you've conquered the EP role, any chance in the future that we'll see you in the director's chair? KL, oh yeah, I think it's a great challenge for any actor to take on directing and producing. I really love producing films and putting them together, and there's a couple of scripts that I've been writing. It takes a while for me to finish a script, and maybe later on this year I'll finish the ones that I've started. DC, give me that one role that if it ever came across your desk there's no way you could turn it down. KL, He-Man. I've always been a huge fan of Masters of the Universe, and it's something that we're looking into for a late 2019 release. It's always kind of been the original superhero for me, and if there's a chance I hope Chris Hemsworth won't do it because he's already got Thor going on. Laughs. DC, finally, after the release of 7 Guardians of the Tomb is released, what will you be working on next? KL, 2 movies. The first one is The Last Story of David Allen, and that will be shooting in Puerto Rico in April, and it's a fun assassin movie. And then there's Arizona, which will shoot in May. It's a cool bank robbery movie, and I've always wanted to do one of those films, and now I get the chance to. I think it's safe to say at this point that all of us have seen John Krasinski's A Quiet Place. And I think it's equally safe to say we've all had the same thought: what happens if someone farts in a quiet place? Well, Noah Jupe brought up just that thing on the set of the film, and here's what Krasinski told him in Empire. "Well, you guys would know to pick up a pillow and cough into the pillow," Krasinski says. I'd only imagine how little Noah putting a pillow on his behind and farting into a pillow, knowing that it would save his life. Just try to crop dust, as long as they're not loud and violent you're going to be fine. The world of being a grown-up and writing about the deep intricacies of helming such a modern-day mini-masterpiece such as A Quiet Place. This is exactly how I plan to spend my day today. What do you think of Krasinski's comments? Make sure to hit us up and let us know what you think in the comments below or on Facebook, Twitter, and/or Instagram. A Quiet Place is now playing in theaters nationwide. Back in September, our own David Gelmini wrote up a post about director Ivan Villimel's short film Mr. Denton breaking a world record and becoming the most awarded horror short in history. Back then the short film had already accumulated over 500 official selections in film festivals and 120 awards, in addition to more than 1,500 screenings around the world. And now the full short is available online. You can check it out below, and then make sure to hit us up and let us know what you think in the comments below or on Facebook, Twitter, and/or Instagram. Mr. Denton is directed by Ivan Villimel, produced by Harmonica Films. Synopsis: on a cold winter night, Laura reads her brother, David, the story of a strange creature that attacks children. Suddenly a shiver runs through Laura's body, feeling a strange presence in the house.